Amy, how's it look on yours?
Are you already live?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just find it.
Hey everybody, we're just making sure we have the technical difficulties ironed out on our live stream. Stephen Groves is watching. Stephen, how are we looking?
Okay.
All right, Stephen Groves. I got to celebrate my 47th birthday with Stephen Groves, who...
Got it.
Where were we on my 47th birthday? It was the night before my 47th birthday, and Stephen, who helps to make sure that we get to our hotel, that we get to our event, that the events go well, was like, hey, Beto, I know you don't like to sleep on the first floor if you can help it, just so that there's not as much noise, but we only have a first floor room available, and so, here's your key. And I took my key, I went to the first floor room, and I opened it up, and I was a little bit, and there was the entire team there in the hotel room with a birthday cake and an IPA, an ice cold IPA beer to drink, and it was so nice. So Stephen, thank you. I may share some pictures from that birthday celebration later, if you're
And
lucky.
you got to come home to some chocolate cake last night?
And I came home to some chocolate cake. Just wait right here. I'll show you the cake.
I'm sort of surprised there's still some left.
Yeah, there won't be for long. This is a cake my sister made, and it's based on my mom's recipe. And it's a chocolate chip cake. So you can see in here, it's a chocolate cake with chips embedded, and then this beautiful, super rich chocolate frosting.
It's amazing.
That is so good.
Yeah.
And you're welcome to eat some
Oh, I'm going to.
if you want some on the live stream.
Oh, on the live stream?
On the live
I
stream.
think I'll eat lunch first.
We're also in just a little bit gonna thank some of our small dollar donors. So those of you who gave $3, $5, $18.50, $47, and are supporting us along the way, I'm gonna make sure that I send a text message out to as many people as I can from my phone just to say thank you and let you know that it's gratefully received. You all are making a difference and ensuring that we have the support, the resources, the number of donors necessary to be competitive, and also to make sure that we qualify for these upcoming debates. Thanks to you, we qualified for the last 3 debates. Thanks to you, we've qualified for the October debate, which is coming up. Thank you for that. And we just want to make sure that we continue to go strong, especially as we surge in momentum, support, contributions. Rob told me that we had our best 72 hours of the campaign since launch following that last debate in Houston, where we were so strong, so clear, so direct about the things that matter most to our fellow Americans, and the way that we bring everyone together at a very divided time to take decisive action on gun violence, to take decisive action against climate change, to take decisive action to make sure we bring everyone into the solutions for the greatest set of challenges that we've ever faced. So very grateful to you all, and now really more than ever, especially as we learn more about Donald Trump, the crimes that he has committed in office, the need to hold him accountable, and then some of the really outrageous, very dangerous things that he's been saying and tweeting today. Amy, I don't know if you've seen this, but he has been warning of civil war. And he's been talking about trying Adam Schiff, who's the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, for treason. And as we all know, the punishment for treason in this country is death. So this threat of violence through civil war, through treason charges for people who are doing their job by trying to hold this president accountable, by following the law, by ensuring there's all the due deliberation necessary to make sure that we save this democracy. This is really dangerous, and we have seen this from President Trump before. In fact, we've experienced it here in El Paso, the way that he has vilified and demonized and sought to dehumanize immigrants and communities of color and people who do not look like or pray like or love like the majority in this country. It doesn't just offend us, it has really caused an alarming rise in violence in this country. Hate crimes on the rise, the murders, the act of terror in El Paso, and the very real fear that so many are living under throughout this country. If ever there were a time to stand up and to be counted and to do what we need to do to make sure that we can defeat Donald Trump and do so in a convincing way, there cannot be even a shadow of a doubt about the outcome in the November 2020 election. Because if he has not been impeached or removed from office and is still on the ballot, I guarantee you he is going to respect no law, no outcome, unless it is decisive and defining. And our ability to win in Texas, to win 38 electoral college votes, is not just the surest way to defeat Donald Trump, but to defeat him by a decisive margin. So there is no question in this country about the outcome and the need to transfer power peacefully, as we have for more than 2 centuries, but at a time where it is an open question as to whether or not we're going to be able to do that. So this could not be more important for everyone to join together, to be part of this campaign, to do whatever you can to support us, to make sure that we have the resources to compete and to make the case for this country right now. So to everyone who's already done that, thank you. To everyone who is considering going to BetoO'Rourke.com and making a $5, $10, $15 contribution, I just want to tell you that it's appreciated, it's gratefully received, and as I shared earlier, we're going to try to actually text out to as many donors who have made a donation and have shared with us their cell phone number, just to personally say thank you. And in fact, I'm gonna make a text right now. Amy, I want you to carry the conversation while I'm texting my phone. But before I text, I got to show you this.
Oh yeah.
So my birthday was on the 26th, a few days ago, and Ulysses made me this really cool phone case. And you may know the word for this. Basically what they do is they get a bucket of water and they spray paint through aerosol cans into the water.
Yeah.
And then they dunk the phone case
Something dipping.
or the pair of shoes or
You get the shoes too.
yeah, or whatever it is, and they make these amazing designs. And so this is the one that Ulysses made for me. So on this phone, I'm gonna text. My first one is gonna be to Liam in New York. So Liam, got a text coming your way.
You must have worn the shoes.
Dear Liam, thank you for the support and your contribution. We'll make the most of it. Beto. All right, Liam, thank you. And to everyone who's going to BetoO'Rourke.com to make a contribution right now, thank you for doing that. Again, could not come at a more important moment.
Stephanie Keegan just went on and made another donation.
Oh, Stephanie Keegan is my
Lauren
hero.
Burnett made one in honor of Miss Whiskers.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Lori. The fictional Miss Whiskers,
Yeah.
who was really just illustrating a point about some of the lengths to which people are going to right now to raise money and to connect with potential donors out there. So there is no real Ms. Whiskers, at least not in our life. Although there are 2 very cute kittens that our daughter Molly has rescued outside of my mom's house, and you may want to describe the story, but who we brought home to nurse back to life. In the first couple of days, they weren't really eating because they were freaked out and didn't know where they were or what they were doing. And now are healthy baby kittens who were going to be adopted, but you may want to tell us where we are on the adoption strategy.
Well, right, we had someone who wanted to adopt them, but she had an older cat that was having health issues, so then she said, no, it's actually not the right time. So my older sister has now fallen in love with the kitties. She took care of them this weekend while Molly and I were out of town, and so we're keeping our fingers crossed that maybe she wants to take them on full time.
Awesome.
But let me go see if I can.
And I'm not being rude while you're talking. I'm texting Allison, who's another small dollar donor in Floresville, Texas. Allison, thank you for the contribution, the support, the help, ensuring that we are competitive and have the resources we need to be able to compete in this race and to make our case both on the policy issues that we believe in, the way in which we campaign, where we bring everyone in. We could care less who you voted for last time, where you live, what the differences are between us. We're going to make sure that at this defining, decisive moment of truth, we all come together as Americans first before we are anything else. And we do so in a way that helps to put Texas and our 38 electoral college votes here in play. All right, Allison, I just fired that text off to you. And introducing one of these cute cats.
She's a little freaked out, but
Do we have a name?
This is socks.
Socks.
Even though she's wearing no apparent socks.
All right. Hey, socks. But does socks maybe describe that her feet are grayer than the rest of her body?
Wanna take her?
Well, maybe I do. Maybe I don't. She's got some very sharp claws, as we have found. Here, I'm going to turn this over in case this is a live stream blood drawing
No,
disaster.
she seems calmer with you than she
Really?
does with me.
All right. Can I let her walk around on this table? Don't go anywhere. There goes socks. She made the jump. This is about a what'd you say, 3.5 foot, 4
Yeah.
foot, 4 foot table.
Oh, good.
Oh, good. Socks is good. No, I've seen, so Socks has really used those claws on Molly as they were getting to know each other, and Molly's got all the scratches to prove it. So I'm a little shy of Socks. All right, bye Socks. Socks has a sibling which we may bring out as well. I'm gonna continue the texting. Allison already texted us back. She said, "You're welcome," and she had 2 cat emojis with hearts in their eyes, and she says, "God be with you." So thank you, Allison. God be with you as well. All right, Rob has sent me some other small dollar donors. Sarah in Fort Worth. Sarah, have a text message coming to you. Sarah, greetings from Beto and Amy. Thank you for the help on the campaign.
Denise donated
Exclamation.
$5. She's a college student.
Hey,
Thank you,
Denise, thank you so much. We will make the most out of your donations, making sure that we travel everywhere in this country. So, as you may imagine, we are spending a lot of time in Iowa, in New Hampshire, South Carolina, Nevada, the first 4 deciding states in the pursuit of the nomination in the Democratic primary. But we're also going to places like Mississippi, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri. This coming week we'll be in Arizona, we'll be in Utah. These are the kinds of places that aren't visited often enough, who the kind of states that have people who aren't often enough part of the conversation, whose voices are not heard. We're bringing them into this campaign and making sure that they have a chance to help shape the solutions for a country that faces the greatest set of challenges that we've ever known. So thank you for giving us the resources to be able to do that. And if you want to join those who are supporting this campaign, you can go to BetoO'Rourke.com. $5, $10, $15, $100, $200, whatever you can do, we'll make the most of it, and it will really make an impact. And as you may know, this is the very last day of the 3rd quarter in this campaign. And at the end of the day, we will have to report to the Federal Elections Commission just what we've raised from the number of donors that we've raised it. And that's going to put us in a place, I hope, that shows that we've got strength, that we've got momentum, that the support behind this campaign is surging. But it's really up to you to decide whether that's the story that people are going to read. So if you can go to BetoO'Rourke.com right now and make a contribution, I promise you it's going to make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Janelle?
Janelle from here in El Paso.
Right on.
Yep.
Thank you,
She's
Janelle, from
amazing.
here in El Paso.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's at every event. She's such a great volunteer. She's just awesome. Chris Hund donated twice today.
Right on. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to send a text to Melissa in New Orleans. Melissa, that's my mom's name, as you may or may not
Really?
know.
It's
Yes,
shocking.
yeah. My mom, Melissa,
I
who
only
actually,
know her as Mimi.
yeah, she is the one who introduced this chocolate cake recipe
Yeah.
that I just showed off earlier.
Is on a trip, so she couldn't be here to
Yep,
make it herself or enjoy the one Charlotte made.
that's right. But don't worry, Melissa, my mom, along with Melissa in New Orleans, has contributed to the campaign. So Melissa in New Orleans is going to send you a text right now. Thank you, Melissa, for your help in this.
Susan Flowers says she really enjoyed meeting you in Dayton.
Oh, thank you, Susan. Yeah, the visit to Dayton. So we went to the Oregon district where the shooting took place there. The day after the shooting took place in El Paso. And we talk a lot about how in El Paso at that Walmart on August 3rd, 22 people were killed in under 3 minutes. in Dayton, 10 people were killed in under 40 seconds. And it gets to the heart of why we were calling not just for an end to the sale of AR-15s and AK-47s, but buying those that are out there back so that they can never be used against us again. They are just devastatingly effective at killing people efficiently in as great a number as possible. And that came home to us in Dayton, but also what came home to us in Dayton when we were at the McKinley Church with Reverend Matthews is just the spirit of the people of Dayton who have decided that they won't be defined by that act of violence, that they're going to take the lead in ensuring that we pass legislation to stop this kind of gun violence in this country. So really grateful for our visit to Dayton and to everyone who turned out. So just finishing this text to Melissa in New Orleans. Thank you, Melissa, for your help in this campaign. We are grateful. And I'm going to sign it, Beto and Amy. All right.
Okay, Beto. Wendy says she wants you to say hello to her daughter, Lucia, who's 4 and is at home sick with a cold today, but she's a big Beto fan. So if you could do a shout out, and then maybe tell the story of the really sweet young girl that you met in Austin this weekend. Who had the lemonade stand.
Yeah. So Lucia, thank you for helping us out and supporting us and working on the kids in either your preschool or your kindergarten, depending on what age you are, and then getting their parents to make a decision to support us. But it's really been encouraging, the number of young people who are engaged. And young people, when we're talking campaigns, we are often referring to 18-year-olds or 17-year-olds who are about to be 18 who will vote in the first election in their lifetimes, the most important election in this country's history. And they have certainly been showing up in record numbers at our events and are such a big part of this campaign. But there are young people in middle school and even elementary school who've been out there spreading the word. And in fact, this weekend in Austin, we got to spend time with a young girl who has been selling lemonade and raising money from her lemonade sales and donating to the campaign. And I think she's raised more than $1,000 selling lemonade out in Austin, Texas, and getting to meet her and her mom, Erica, so positive, so encouraging, and gives us so much strength and lets us know that we're doing the right thing with the right people at the right time. So to all the young people, Lucia out there included, Kelsey, who was the one selling lemonade in Austin, thank you for what you're doing out there. And know that even if you cannot vote, what you're doing is so helpful. And a lot of the handmade cards that you've sent us, the posters that you bring to events, all of that, so helpful and so positive. And we are grateful.
Okay, so there's a little bit of concern that maybe you're not a cat person because you were scared of the kitty.
Yeah, no, I'm a lifelong cat person. So growing up on University Street in El Paso, we had Fritz the cat, which I didn't know was kind of a racy name for a cat. There's some Fritz the Cat associations, which you can look up on the internet, not for me to discuss now on the live stream. But there was also, when I moved back to El Paso in the late 90s, I adopted a cat that I named Choo Choo, or Chooch. And so I had Choo Choo, I think just before I met you.
Really?
Yeah, I had Choo Choo at the house on Cliff Street, on the corner of Cliff and Rampart. And Choo Choo, as with all our cats, maybe I shouldn't say this, but is not just an indoors cat, but is an outdoors cat too. We put something on the cats so that they can warn birds, so that we don't add to the problem with birds being the victims of domestic cats in this country. But Chooch left one day and didn't come home. And then we adopted Silver, and Silver we adopted
Which
actually.
I was not excited about. So I was not originally a cat person.
No.
And I left town for like 24 hours.
And I think maybe left town with the express direction not to adopt any animals. And Molly and I went to the animal shelter here in El Paso, and then maybe through the Humane Society, went to see the cats that they had, and there were these super cute kittens, like even cuter than Socks, the kitten you just showed. And Molly really wanted to adopt one of them. And then there was Silver.
We've had Silver, she was probably 4. I think we've had Silver about 6 years.
Yeah. And then there was Silver, who was not a kitten. Silver was at that point
9
8 or
months,
10 months
yeah.
old, and looked like a full-grown cat. And I said, Molly, what about this cat, Silver? And she's like, oh, she's nice, but I really want one of those kittens. And I said, well, Molly, those kittens for sure are going to be adopted because they're so cute. Silver probably will not. And if Silver remains here for the next 3 days, they're going to put her to sleep. Because that's, unfortunately, at the time in El Paso, we didn't have a no-kill shelter. And so those cats and dogs that are picked up, that are not claimed by an owner after a certain period of time, are put down. I think we put down more than 20,000 dogs and cats a year. So I made this tough sell on Molly. I said, look, Molly, if we don't adopt Silver, Silver may not make it. And so Molly, being the super sweet, good kid, made the right choice and adopted Silver. And I'm sure those other kittens got adopted by another family.
And
So the thing is, we have cats. I love cats. They're not, that little tiny kitten that Amy just showed you has super sharp claws, and
And you haven't been home to bond with it.
and the first time I went down to the basement to meet the kitten, it climbed up my leg with the claws, like just, and so I'm just a little skittish from the kitten.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna make Amy, you tell a really charming story,
Oh.
or just talk about what's on the live stream, and I'm gonna send a note to Marlon in Palo Alto. Marlon, have a text coming your way. Thank you, Marlon.
Oh, so if there's a way that we can pull up Christy Duffy's info, she donated before but didn't put her phone number, and so she donated again
So that
to
we would
make
text.
sure that she had the phone number included, and so we've got to track that phone number down and shoot her a text.
If you want to join others who are making contributions right now, support this campaign, make sure that we are competitive, make sure that we have a chance to win and become the nominee and win the 38 electoral college votes in Texas. There's nothing that would do more to defeat Donald Trump in the most decisive manner possible, so that there is no question on election night about the outcome, no question on election night about the future of this country. If you want to help us to become the nominee, to take on Donald Trump, to defeat him, to become the next president of the United States, go to BetoO'Rourke.com and make a contribution there. 5, 10, 15, $100, whatever you can do, please make that contribution now. BetoO'Rourke.com. And by the way, while you're there, you can also sign up to volunteer. You can see where we are on the policy issues that matter most to you. And you can join hundreds of thousands, literally hundreds of thousands of people who have donated to this campaign and made this possible. So thank you in advance.
Ready? I love this one. Marjorie said, "You are the only candidate who has inspired me to donate in my 66 years on this planet."
Oh,
I love that.
that's Marjorie?
Yep.
Thank you, Marjorie. That's really sweet. And nothing makes us happier than to meet people who say what you just said, Marjorie. I've never donated to a campaign, never been politically involved, decided to make a donation to the Beto O'Rourke campaign. And then those that we've met along the way who come to events and say, I was not politically active, and I was also in a tough spot in my life, getting through a divorce, the death of a loved one, lost a job, recovering from a health issue, and found out about you all, joined the campaign, and just felt like I was connected to so many people with such great purpose, doing something so positive for this country, bringing people together at a really divided, highly polarized time. We're going to define ourselves not through fear, not through division, but in how we can come together through our ambitions, through our aspirations, through what we know this country can achieve. Greatest set of challenges we've ever faced, that's for sure, but the greatest country that has ever faced them. And we know that to be true as well. So thanks to everyone who's joined the cause.
Okay, ready? We're shooting a message over to Krista.
Okay, Krista. Hi, Krista. Thank you from Beto and Amy. Oh, and then you want to check this innovation out? We're going to send her a picture.
Ooh.
Yes. Hey. All right. Krista, picture and text. Oh,
Oops.
you know what? We sent that to the wrong one.
Someone else just got our picture.
You think it's Kristen?
I think it's Christy
Christine.
with a Y.
Oh,
Okay, Christy with the Y. Sorry. Christy with the Y. which auto-corrected to Kitty. Christina.
You can tell.
Schematic,
who
yeah.
I'm texting about. Do you want a kitty? Do you want a kitty?
Yeah. Oops. All right. Here we go. Amy, why do you have the new iPhone?
Well, my phone went kaput last Wednesday. So then when you go in to see if you can get it fixed, it was like you have to ship it off for 5 days, and I didn't have a backup.
Right.
And so I really liked the home button on my phone,
You had what version?
the 7,
You had the 7.
and I liked the home button.
And you were 7 for life.
And so I wanted to keep my 7,
Yep.
and I couldn't get a 7. They didn't have any 8s in stock, so I got forced into this new 11. So I'm still getting used to it.
Cool. All right. Crystal in Rome, New York. This one's coming to you. For the help. We are grateful. Beto and Amy, and yeah, this new innovation of taking the photo as well. Hey, all right, Rome, New York, coming at you. I don't know, this is a terrible photo, Amy. On my part, I look like I just had a root canal. All right. Okay, there we go. That's better. See, this is not so bad, Rob. I don't know what you were worried about. All right, John in Dubuque. Oh, wait, this is John Murphy in Dubuque.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of our earliest, strongest, and best supporters. You weren't with us on the road at that time. It was literally our first trip as a declared candidate in March. And the Murphys hosted us at their home with their amazing kids. And I think one of their sons was actually at a wrestling tournament and couldn't be there. But we were talking about, our sons and our daughter playing sports and traveling for sports. And he's also a public official, public servant, and was, I think, maybe one of, if not the first endorsers of our campaign. So found a lot in common and super grateful for what they've done. And were you at 4th of July?
I was going to say, I think
you did meet them.
We met them.
You met them at another event.
Yep.
Absolutely.
They came
So
out.
John, thank you. I'm going to shoot you a note right now. Thank you for the continued help. Okay. Sent that one to John. And so we're getting some texts back with some great emoticons. There's one, I think, I'm just too old to see these.
You need to
anymore.
get the enlarged font.
Yeah, I don't want to admit to needing the enlarged font version, but so Marlon says,
I think
"OMG."
it's like maybe blowing a kiss. I'm not sure.
I think it's somebody with a party hat and glitter. You're welcome. Donating more now. Oh, Marlon, that is so cool. Thank you. If you want to join Marlon, if you want to make a contribution, go to betoo'rourke.com. I have to tell you, this reminds me somewhat, although this is hopefully better and different and for a higher purpose. I was listening to NPR on the way to drop off the kids. We're in a carpool and picking up other kids along with Henry this morning, and they were doing the pledge drive on KTEP, and it's fall drive, and so but when they're announcing people who are making donations, and I'm like, well, I want to make a donation too. So Marlon, what you just did hopefully compelled others in California or in your life or just who are watching the live stream to make a donation. So thanks everybody. I don't know if we have any more tricks. You already pulled the kittens out, showed the chocolate
Oh,
cake.
someone did ask to see Artemis.
Come here, Artemis.
Oh,
Come here. Come here.
Maybe have her dump on you versus
Okay.
the counter.
Come here, Artemis. Come here. Come here. Come here. She knows not to, so she's like struggling with it. It's like a clockwork orange. Come here. Come here. Yes. Artemis. Artemis, say hello to everybody. We went on a run this morning. Oh, yes. And there were lots of cats on the run, and so Artemis was so tempted to run off the leash, but she didn't. And we ended up at the Centennial Plaza at UTEP, where she jumped in the fountain, and a little bit slow on the back half of the run, but it was really good. And it's also a huge motivator to go running because I know that she likes it and she needs it, and she starts to get really fat if we don't run, right? Everybody needs the exercise, and want to keep Artemis in fighting shape,
Yeah,
right?
totally.
Yeah.
No, the days when I'm going to the gym versus running with her, she thinks she's coming for a run.
Oh, and it's the
she's
saddest thing in the world.
I've got my sneakers on, and she's at the door with me, and
I also want to thank all of our staff, everybody who's part of the campaign. There is Jen and team organized a staff-wide challenge. So everybody on the Beto for America team is reaching out to their friends, their family members, their former colleagues and classmates, and anyone in their lives to try to raise money for the campaign. Same thing that we're doing right now to make sure that we have the resources we need to continue to organize in Iowa and New Hampshire and South Carolina, Nevada, and throughout the country. And they've been doing such an amazing job. And anecdotally, we think this may be the biggest, most successful staff challenge in the history of America. That's what I'm hearing.
someone just messaged saying that they just donated, but they made sure to donate it in Cynthia's name because they want Cynthia.
Oh, Cynthia is probably going to win. She so members of the team, and anyone can do this, have asked, Beto, will you record a message for anyone who, or someone who contributes to my campaign? I've done that. Someone asked for one of my old blue shirts to ship it off to a donor. I'm very happy to do that. I don't know that you want it.
Seriously?
Yeah. As these get worn out, and you can imagine, we go through a lot of blue shirts on the campaign and just in life. But in your preference, you want it washed, you want it unwashed.
Okay.
We'll send it to you. We'll send it to you either way. Amy says we'll wash it. So anyhow, thanks to all the staff who have reached out to their friends, and it's never easy to ask for support, for help, for money, but it is necessary if we're going to be able to do this. And so we're really grateful by what we've seen from the results so far.
Okay, this is from Brittany. Being 25 years old, me and my husband had not registered to vote and had not been much into politics. We both registered to vote for the first time to vote for you, and will be our second ever vote as president. You will be our second vote ever as president.
Oh, Brittany, that is so nice. Thank you. And I tell you what, you're in good company. You join so many people who've approached us at events, and either they are just coming of age, this will be the first election they're eligible for, or for whatever reason never felt like they would be heard or represented, or that they had a choice that they could connect with. And in this campaign and in what we're doing, and in the way that we've been so outspoken on the things that matter most to people, on gun violence, on climate, on immigration, on making sure that people can find a job that requires them to give it all they got, but doesn't require them to take a second or a third job just to make ends meet. Folks who want to know that we're going to fight to ensure every single person can see a doctor, see a mental health care provider, afford their prescription, make their own decisions about their own body. All of the things that we've been talking about, the way that we've been doing it in bold, clear, decisive terms, I really think that has resonated, and we're grateful, Brittany, that it's resonated with you and that you're part of this.
I remember I loved in the Senate campaign when we'd be at an event and someone would say, I'm a first-time voter. And then it was like everyone in the room would erupt and be, like the high fives and the cheer, first-time voter!
Right.
And it was just over and over and over again. There were so many people that were first-time voters.
I remember a couple when we were in Midland, in Odessa, I think this meeting was in Midland, and he came up to me, and maybe roughly my same age, I just turned 47, and he said, I've not voted in any election in the last 20 years. I just kind of given up. I just didn't think what I did mattered. And frankly, all the money in politics disgusted me. And the fact that you don't take PAC money, he told me, you don't take help from corporations, special interests, you wouldn't take a dime from the NRA. And in this race, we don't take any money from lobbyists.
People thought we were nuts. They were,
oh, yeah.
You're never going to make it in Texas.
That's right.
In this race if you don't take PAC money.
And thanks to you all, we ended up raising more money than any Senate candidate had in the history of the country. You made that possible. What you're doing right now in a campaign that doesn't take PAC money, doesn't take corporate money, doesn't take lobbyist money, your contribution, whatever amount, makes it possible for us to compete. And we're seeing a similar grassroots effort nationally, very similar to what we saw in Texas. So thank you. I saw that Becca, who was right behind Brittany in the comments, asked you, Amy, a question.
Oh, I didn't see it. And I
She
may
asked-
have scrolled too far now.
She asked, "Are you going to adopt the kittens?"
Well, we're hoping. So we have 14 animals in our house right now. I feel like
Really?
it's getting to be a bit
14? 2 turtles, a snake,
bearded
a dog,
dragon,
a cat, a bearded dragon.
3 fish,
Okay.
and 2 foster kittens.
Okay.
So I would love to keep these kittens. We haven't really introduced them to Silver yet.
Can we raffle them off or?
Well, so if Mariana doesn't want them, someone in Laredo just said that they would take the kittens. We
Really?
can go on a road trip to Laredo to drop the kittens off.
I like that. Any excuse to get back to Laredo, we will take it. And big shout out to everybody in Laredo who supported us before and are supporting us again now.
Yeah. Carol asked us to do a shout out to Brenda J. She said that she's one of our hardest working canvassers.
All right. Brenda J., thank you for all the help and the support. Know that it's making a difference. And big shout out to all of our canvassers, all of our volunteers, all of our envoys, all of our ambassadors. I was just in Iowa, and I can really sense a shift there in a state where more than 60% of the caucus goers have yet to firmly and finally make up their mind. Those who are knocking on doors in Iowa, especially through the dog days of summer, when there's not a lot of attention on the campaigns, where you can wonder whether, what you're doing is really making a difference, just know that it is. And when we made that speech at the steak fry last week or week before last, that part of the reason that it really resonated and began to change in our favor, the momentum and the energy and the support, is because you had laid the groundwork for that. People were ready, they heard from me, and they're now signing up. They're committing to canvass for us, they're committing to caucus for us, and you made that possible. So thanks, Brenda and others.
Okay, Kevin Hegwood just donated again, this time hoping that we can send him a text. So, Kevin, we're going to see if we can track
All right,
down
Kevin.
your info.
So some of the team is sending me numbers that I need to text. Susie Draper is getting a text right now.
And Christy replied, thank you guys so much. I did my first phone banking yesterday. I was scared, but did it. Thanks for everything you all do. I love phone banking. I was phone banking in Las Vegas about 10 days ago. There was this, Wesley had hosted this amazing phone bank, and here we go.
That's for Susie Draper.
All of the phone bankers around me were getting, people were answering like one after another, and they were incredible phone bankers.
Yeah.
And I got voicemail every single time.
Talk about, she mentions that she was apprehensive to phone bank. I mean, be straight with people about how it can be a little bit challenging or a little intimidating the first time, and then maybe just talk about how you get through that.
Yeah.
As well as knocking on doors.
Yeah, I mean, I think both. You are totally catching people unaware, and so they're a little bit guarded at first. And you're going to have some people that are maybe not the nicest and either hang up on you or say something that's not kind. But majority of people are just willing to have pretty incredible conversations.
And it's so rare that you get a call from someone who is not just calling on behalf of a candidate, but wants to listen to you and hear what's most important to you. And I'm with you. It's not always easy. You don't always get an answer. You don't always get somebody who answers, who wants to have the conversation. But when you make that connection, especially at a time that the country is so divided and so polarized, and we wonder whether our politics is working anymore, that conversation, that connection is so powerful.
Yeah.
And then that person goes out and tells their friends and family members and neighbors over maybe dinner tonight, hey, I got a call from Amy, and she's telling me about her husband Beto, and this is somebody we should look at, or somebody that I've committed to supporting. Will you join me in it? I just texted Joshua in Connecticut to thank him for the help. Joshua, thank you. We are really grateful.
Yeah, and on the phone banking, I think a lot of people think, well, I'm going to go in and I'm going to be like left to my own devices, but we've got just such an amazing team that will train you on how to phone bank. You'll be given a script, which, you know, for your first few calls, you'll want to follow the script, and then you kind of get the sense of it. You get more comfortable, and then you can, you know, deviate from the script and kind of follow the flow of the conversation. It's Sign up for a phone bill.
Susie, who I just texted, texted me back. I texted Susie to say thanks for the contribution, and she texted me back, Rob, I don't know if this image is showing up. She texted this image from the steak fry, and you have one of our amazing team members with the Hell Yes hand-painted shirt, and then somebody else who's wearing a Beto dress. It may be hard to see in this shot, but there's just a lot of energy, and all of our everything that we were showing, displaying, and other people could see was homemade. So homemade signs, homemade dresses, homemade shirts. It was really cool, and shows that there is a power in this campaign, comprised of the people who make up this campaign that money just cannot buy, but that money supports as we help them to organize in their communities and to knock on doors. So thank you.
Lynn said, just donated $47 for your birthday.
Oh, thank you, Lynn.
In addition to my monthly donation. And I'm 72 and have waited a long time for you. This country needs you. My children and grandchildren need you.
Whoa, Lynn.
So sweet.
That is really nice. If you were here, we would give you a piece of cake right now. And this is my favorite cake. And actually, we need to wrap up soon so that we have a little bit of time to eat a bite and have some of this cake. Do you want to have some cake?
I'm going to eat lunch first.
Okay, I'm going to eat lunch first too.
Is that
Maybe we can live
breakfast?
stream the cake another time. It's really, really good cake.
I did a little cake eating on my Instagram last night.
Oh, you did?
So that story's still alive.
Oh, yeah. If you are not already following Amy on Instagram, you should follow her on Instagram. She's got a great feed that she does herself. And in addition to, I guess, the images that, I don't know what the distinction is between what you post and then what's on your story.
Yeah.
But both are really good. That's how we stay in touch. That's how I know what Amy is doing.
No,
By
it's true.
following her
Sometimes,
Instagram account.
sometimes at the end of the day, you'll say, "How's the day?" and I'll say, "Just look at the Instagram story."
Yeah, that's it. Then she hangs up the phone. Call me tomorrow. Okay, well, everybody, thank you for joining us today on the live stream, for making the contributions to the campaign. If you're watching and you want to support, it's BetoO'Rourke.com. To everyone who made a donation and then said that they were going to make another donation, thank you. It really does make a difference. And this country is going to be looking at our FEC report after we file it this evening to show how many donors we were able to bring into this campaign and what we were able to raise. So knowing that and knowing that we want to have a very strong story to tell America about all the support that we have out there, please consider making another contribution or asking another person in your life to make a contribution. I promise you it will make a difference. And as we were trying to demonstrate today, it is personally and gratefully received by all of us. And we're just, I don't know if we can show this, but we should. This is Joshua in Connecticut, and his baby girl, I'm gonna cover her name, but is wearing this shirt. 100% of the proceeds of the shirt that Joshua bought for his daughter go to gun violence prevention groups like Moms Demand Action and March for Our Lives. So Joshua, thank you for doing that. And to your beautiful baby girl, and it's a live picture so you can see her. Oh, I gotta show this. I don't know if you can see this.
Hopefully,
Yep.
Josh doesn't care.
Yeah. Really beautiful, beautiful, beautiful baby. Oh, thank you, Joshua. That's really cool.
It's awesome.
Melissa wrote us back. She says, inspired by your message to not count anyone or any area out. The Dems in red states like Louisiana, where she is from, feel like our voices aren't heard. So thanks for listening. And Melissa, thank you for saying that. And we've been to Louisiana, and we're really grateful for everyone who showed up for us so they could share with this campaign what was on their mind and then join this effort. And it's true when we're in places like Arkansas and Mississippi and Oklahoma and even Texas, where we just were for the last couple of days, and where of course we are now in our home in El Paso. We often felt like we were a place that didn't matter to the national conversation, but Texans, folks in these other states are standing up to be counted, to be heard, and we're listening to you, and we're going out to you. We'll be in Arizona this week. will be in Utah this week. We're going to continue to travel the country and go to those places that have for far too long been overlooked or forgotten. We were just in Erie last week, and we were with Rep. Ryan Bizzaro, and I told you a lot about him, Amy, and the people who welcomed us out there. And that was one of those places. In fact, that's where I was on my birthday. He had this really amazing birthday cake made for me, and the folks there at the bar that we went to, or the brewery. There are a lot of bars and breweries this trip. And they sang happy birthday to us and welcomed us out. But Erie is not the easiest place in the world for people to get to. El Paso is not the easiest place in the world for people to get to. But when we show up in Erie, when we show up in El Paso, when we show up in those places that haven't been included in enough of the conversations, I think it really makes an impact, and certainly makes an impact on me. So we'll continue to run this campaign this way with your help. Thanks, everyone. Please, one last time, go to BetoO'Rourke.com. Make a donation there. We promise you it'll make a difference. Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye.